If I had to describe Mike in 3 words, it would be honest as the day is long, dedicated, and absolutely hardworking.
Mike is a community builder. Whether he's involved in church activities or with the Special Olympics or working for service clubs, Mike is unflustered, caring, and a committed worker. He loves his community just as much as we love Mike.
Dedicated, compassionate, and thoughtful.
More than anything, I guess when I think of you, Michael, I just think of your commitment and dedication to the Community Foundation and your limitless number of volunteer hours, just making sure that this is a very respected organization within our community.
Mike's the man.
Dedicated community leader.
For me, one of them is calm. I always think of you as very calm and very level-headed. Dedicated. I don't think there's anybody who's more dedicated to the Community Foundation than you have been. And it is so appreciated. And then the other one is, I do think you're lighthearted. I love your sense of humor.
Calm, cool, collected.
Kind, ethical, and generous.
One is, I think you're a very positive person. That is just huge. And not always easy to keep at the forefront, is just being positive and optimistic. Your commitment to the community is phenomenal. That takes you a long way and takes the community a long way. And I know that you will have that commitment with whatever you become involved in as you proceed in not being involved on the board. You will take that commitment to the community further and further. What else? I just enjoy you, Mike. You're fun to be around, but your ethics, personal ethics, are really another great quality that you have, and you keep them at the forefront.
Mike is committed. You can count on him, and he's a great team member.
That really stick out for me, I think, to describe him would be, passionate about the community, and that's just him, pragmatic and frankly, a phenomenal person.
Generous beyond words.
A handsome devil.
Magic Mike.
Hardworking.
And a forever friend.
Dedicated, loyal, and positive.
Mike has shown great leadership and a steady hand during difficult times. This is the kind of leadership a board chair needs to demonstrate.
It has been an absolute pleasure and great opportunity to sit on the board of Community Foundations with Michael. He displays unwavering leadership abilities, and time and again he has shown us what a community champion he truly is.
Thank you for your commitment you make to the Community Foundation Board, and especially in the role as chair. I have learned a ton working with you, and having you there provides so much direction and guidance and insight and encouragement and support that the staff and the board members have benefited from. And we know that we can always count on you to support us in our decisions and provide the direction and the guidance and the leadership that's needed.
Here's a Mike Anctil story that I bet you've never heard. It happened during the years when I was working with persons with developmental disabilities. Along the way, I was encouraged to meet Shirley Dupmeyer. She is a person who is blind in our community, and at the time, it was an amazing experience to meet Shirley and see how she had worked both with other persons with disabilities and as a special ambassador for the people who are blind in our community. When Shirley passed away, I felt there needed to be some kind of fitting monument to the achievement that she had made in our town. And I always thought that naming a street would be really good, but I found out that there's so much red tape with that kind of exercise that I was discouraged at every twist. But I had an ally in the city clerk, Larry Godden. I said, Larry, wouldn't it be great if there was a park named after Shirley or something like that? And Larry, what a cagey man, noted that there was a park across from his house. It was really an island in his little cul-de-sac, but we'll call it a park. Well, we needed to create some kind of monument to Shirley in that park. And LMT donated a huge boulder, which was just an amazing kind of tribute to put at one end of this island. And we would call it Shirley Dupmeyer Park, but how do we sign it? Well, a slab of marble would be great. That's what we all thought. And when I went to Mike Anctil, he bought into the idea that this would be a great idea. And he had a slab of broken marble that he could donate to this particular cause. And he would inscribe it, which was even better. And so with Mike's donation of a very expensive piece of marble, propped against an LMT boulder, Shirley Dupmeyer Park came into existence. What a generous act on his part. And some of the people in his shop were really amazed, because that slab could have been used for other things if it had just been shaved down a bit or reconfigured. But Mike could see the benefit of recognizing somebody who had made a contribution to our community.
Michael Anctil, a member and a leader of the Community Foundation of Southeast Alberta, has done well in taking an evolving organization and moving it into a stable and great support system for charities and nonprofit organizations that are always looking for help.
Michael and I and a great staff team spent 3 years at first getting the foundation back on an even keel, but then growing and building it. Not only was it fun, but he's one of the few people I know that would answer my texts at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Michael Anctil has had a great impact on the Community Foundation of Southeast Alberta and community. Under his leadership, there was outstanding growth of the endowment fund. His steady leadership will have a long and lasting impact. When someone shows up time and time again at every committee meeting, every regular meeting, and every event, it has a great influence on everyone coming up behind.
But the biggest impact that I think is growing our fund. I know that like a lot of this work was done a while ago, but you were there when this work was done. And I really appreciate all that you have done and continue to do, so that in 10 years time, in 20 years time, they're going to still see growth with the Community Foundation. I think you're a great representative also for our foundation out in the community. You always carry yourself well and really are good at promoting the Community Foundation. I also appreciate the fact that you were able to pivot during COVID and take everything to a virtual level, and then support the committees and also still support the staff during this time. And it's really been appreciated when you know that your leader is there and is supporting you.
Had the pleasure of meeting Mike while we were both members of the board of the Community Foundation. I witnessed Mike transition from a quiet but well-respected board member into our fearless leader, chairman of the board.
Thank you for 7 years of dedication to the Community Foundation of Southeastern Alberta. We are all so grateful for the time and the commitment you have put in. I am also very thankful for you being the chair in my first year as ED. You have definitely provided me with lots of knowledge, guidance, and shown lots of patience as well. I so much appreciate that. You are very kind, humble, and community-minded individual. Medicine Hat is a better place because Michael Anctil is a part of it.
Michael Anctil is to be congratulated for his tremendous contribution to the foundation and ultimately to the nonprofits in southeastern Alberta. During his tenure, the foundation donor fund balances grew significantly, and as a result, numerous not-for-profit organizations benefited. All this during a period of organizational change, including recruitment to the key position of Executive Director. As a result, Michael was called upon to extend his tenure as chair and provide stability to ensure a seamless transition.
It's nice to have this opportunity to thank you and to tell you how much I appreciated you as we worked on the Community Foundation together. I know you came in at relatively a difficult time, but you worked really hard at helping the CFSEA to keep on track and to move forward. We grew a lot with you on the board and with you as the chair. And I really appreciated how you encouraged everybody to participate fully. You listened to ideas, but you also kept us on track. The meetings were efficient, which I loved. You allowed time for discussion, but you kept us moving along. And I really appreciated that. That always hasn't been the way with different committees that I've been on. So I appreciated that. You got results for the Community Foundation, and that was fabulous. I can't believe how much the Community Foundation has grown while you've been involved. And I hope you continue to be involved, as I'm sure you will, as I think things have really moved along. And I think the Community Foundation is such a strong entity for Southeast Alberta. And I know that you will continue to be involved.
Mike truly cares about the community. He is committed to the community, and he is an unselfish and generous individual with his time to the community and any events that go on.
So I wanted to talk about Mike actually before his time on the board of directors, because Mike's association with the Community Foundation goes back to 2005, 2006 time, at least. Alberta celebrated its centennial. The Community Foundation decided to create a thing called the Centennial Legacy Club, and the board of directors of the day all came together along with the staff as a team to raise money by asking Albertans, community medicine hatters primarily, to give us a $1,000 donation, which would go into an endowment fund and be a lasting legacy whereby they could be remembered and would support and celebrate the centennial. The idea was we'd have a few names, we'd put them on a plaque, we'd put them on a rock, we'd put the rock somewhere in a park, and everybody go, yay. So it was great. We got halfway through the year and we had about 100 names. And it suddenly realized one rock probably wasn't going to do it. Mike Anctil to the rescue, frankly. By the end of the year, there were well over 300. We raised over $625,000 or something. It was way more of a success than we thought. We needed 3 plaques just to get the names on, and a 4th plaque to explain what the names are all about, what the thing was all about. Mike, of course, and his company, Hat Monumental, did all the work on the plaques. He even came with us because the rock, it wasn't just a rock, you had to have the right rock. And so Mike took us in the truck and helped us get the rock from Steep Rock that had donated the rock, but it had to have a pretty flat surface and it had to be good looking enough to warrant Mike's particular requirements. If it wasn't for Mike, we probably would have had to somehow renege on our promise of putting everybody's name on these in this fashion. So cut a long story short, there is to this day a very nice monument in the city arboretum, situated at the bottom of Shelton Hill. I think without Mike, the whole thing would have been a lot less attractive than it is now. And so that was really Mike's doing. And of course, at the end of 2005, it'd been fairly successful, and the Community Foundation thereafter decided to have an annual legacy club. And frankly, that has just built and built and built, and people now regularly give to the Community Foundation. And So, I think that's a pretty big legacy. The fact that Mike's been so involved with, other community groups, and particularly out at Elkwater with the camp, which the Community Foundation was able to help with a little bit. But when he came on the board as well, that same kind of attitude about the community, just that's Mike. It just pervades everywhere he goes, and so it infected everyone else sitting on the board at the time. Of course, when I knew him, he was just joined the board. Now he's reached the lofty heights, and for some years chair. So that's a whole different thing. But yeah, Mike's association with the Community Foundation is actually closing in on, at least in my knowledge, 20 years.
We thought it'd be kind of fun to do it together. When I met you, you kind of got a 2-for-1 deal. So here we are. I guess it's been a while, but when I met you at the foundation, you were just a young pup looking to make your mark at the Community Foundation, and for sure that's what you did. You handled every situation with utmost grace and respect, and I'm so proud to call you my friend.
What has Mike impacted the most at the Community Foundation?
So I think I don't think I can just pick one, but I think if I had to pick something, the biggest one would be the culture. You brought a culture of inclusiveness that went way beyond the boardroom. You could see it when everybody was interacting with any of the other organizations that we had to. Yeah, I think it would have to be that.
It's been 7 or 8 years since we started on the foundation board together. You jumped straight in with both feet, and your leadership qualities were apparent right from the very beginning. Through it all, over the years, you remained calm, focused on the big issues, and in control of meetings. Man, you can control meetings. And who would have guessed that you got to work with 4 different executive directors during your tenure?
I've known you for years, and in the short time that we served together on the Community Foundation Board, I've come to respect you so much, just as I have every other time I've been involved on a project or an initiative or a board with you. And on the Community Foundation Board, during these first few months, I've been so inspired by your commitment and your leadership. This is no different from any of the immense volunteer contributions you made to our community of Medicine Hat over the years, many years.
Your dedication to our Community Foundation over the past 7 years has been truly exceptional. While serving 5 years as our board chair, we have experienced so much positive growth as an organization. You have worked tirelessly during that time, providing positive, constructive, and energetic leadership.
Anyways, I just wanted everyone to know, as a member of the staff, we would like to say thank you. I don't know if everyone is aware of how much time and dedication you gave to us, the staff. Every time we needed you, whether it be for a fund agreement or a check or signing a letter, signing all the grant letters, whatever the staff needed, you were there. You would always stop what you were doing, come in, even if it was one check or one letter, you would always provide us with the time. We would like you to know that we are forever grateful for your time and dedication.
Forbes defines leadership as the process of social influence to maximize the efforts of others towards the achievement of a goal. What a fantastic way to describe the leadership of Michael Anctil.
Successful businessman, no one needs to dedicate hours of time to volunteer service, but people like Mike know how important it is to contribute to the community he loves and give back so that everyone has a chance at growth and success.
He is a hardworking individual that makes time for everybody and always has a smile on his face.
So I really appreciate the time I have worked with you, and again, I've learned so much. I hope that we'll continue to work together professionally or even if you're on a committee, hopefully we can work together on that as well.
Michael Anctil is a go-to man. You want help or something along the way, you want him to come along and work with you in the Alberta Games, or you want to work on some project, or you want to go building something over here or trying something over there, you go to Michael Anctil. I know his parents have always been great volunteers, and Michael and his family just show you what can happen when you're ready to give your support for a project and for it to be successful.
When I think of Michael, I'm amazed at the culmination of all the good things of multi-generations. So Michael's word and a handshake is his bond, and he has a huge concern for the common good, just like the greatest generation. He has the work ethic of a baby boomer on steroids. From the Gen X group, Michael is not impressed with his own power and authority, and he leads by competence. And finally, the Gen Y millennial generation, Michael is loyal, civic-minded, and doesn't want to leave anyone behind. In other words, Michael is a unicorn.
Reputations are earned and cannot be bought. Michael Anctil has dedicated his time to be of service to the CFSEA and has earned that respect.
And I've been with you for almost 3 years, and I have to say that I consider you my go-to guy. If I have any questions, if I have any issues, I just know that I can call you, that you will get back to me, if not take the call right then and there. You are definitely my go-to guy. I really appreciate all the support that you've had. I also think of you as kind of lighthearted. You're always good for a laugh. You are up for a joke at any time, and I appreciate that. That lightheartedness when we deal with quite serious issues is really appreciated as well.
I can't help but think of the way he makes you feel important when you enter a room. Always greets you with a smile, asks you how you're doing. Great to see you. It certainly makes it easier to support the Community Foundation when you deal with people like Mike. I completed my term on the board a few years ago, but stepped down with so much confidence in the Community Foundation, knowing that Mike was the board chair.
In my mind, Michael is a leader who is first to roll up his sleeves to get the job done. He is an unselfish volunteer, not only for the foundation, but for his and Wanda's work in our Medicine Hat community. He always wears a smile that I think gets even bigger when the going gets tough.
Just a couple of things that come to mind when I think of you. One is integrity. You never swayed on your values and your beliefs, and just kept us pure and kept us focused on our mission, and that integrity that you bring to the table with whatever you do is fabulous. Very team-oriented. You listened well. You exhibit so many qualities of good leadership, and I really appreciate that. And but I also enjoyed the occasional times that we were able to maybe migrate to the pub after meetings or have casual conversations and all of those kind of things. And I very much enjoy you as a person as well as your involvement with the Community Foundation. And thank you for that.
Mike leads by example. I've worked with Mike in a number of events during the last number of years, such as 55 Plus, Special Olympics, and Camp McCoy. And Mike is there all the time with his time and efforts at any event.
He's a force to be reckoned with. If he gets an idea in his head, there's no stopping him. He can be, he can be a very dynamic personality. He's a very sociable person, I think. There's you get this guy who he told me, I'm not very good at spelling. In my business, when you are doing people's headstones, what you do is you put one letter after another. and you don't really learn to spell. You just learn to put one letter after another. So if you write down what wants to be on the headstone, that's what you get. So if you misspell, so do I. I just put the letters down in the same order as I find them on the draft you give me. And you know, so that's that was just another thing that amused me no end about Mike, because he gets things done. So I had a great saying when I was at the Community Foundation. There were the 7 Ps. Now I'm not going to tell you what the 7 Ps were, but in summing up Mike, I would say that I have P words for Mike. I wrote them down. I hope you don't mind. I have 3 that really stand out, but because I always used to have 7, I've actually got 7. Mike is P for passionate about our community, for sure, and passionate about the organizations he gets involved with. And that comes through in his family life, in his business, passionate about his business, certainly passionate about those organizations. He's pragmatic. And I like that. He's the kind of guy that comes on and says, look, I'm not here to talk too much. I'm not here to, beat around the bushes. Let's get her done. Whatever it is, let's make up our minds. Let's get on with it and get it done. It all adds up to him being a pretty phenomenal person to have on your team. You need to get something done. He's the kind of person, if you've got him on your shoulder or you're on his shoulder, you're going to be successful. So those were the 3 Ps that really came to mind. But the other 4, if you don't mind, very quickly are, he's quite prominent in the community. He's quite well known. His family name is quite well known for a number of reasons. He's certainly proficient, meaning by that, he gets things done and he does them efficiently. He's very persuasive, and I'm sure some of the board members listening to this, seeing him in his role as chair, and I know his last board meeting's coming up here, but he can be pretty persuasive and persistent. So if his persuasion failed the first time around, he'll be back for a second or third go to chat you up and get that pragmatic side of him, get the thing done. So those are the 7 Ps for Mike: passionate, pragmatic, prominent, proficient, persuasive, persistent, and frankly, phenomenal to have on your team.
The person who's never forgotten my birthday.
A person who loves and supports his family unconditionally.
A person who has and tells the best stories.
A person who I may need to hit up for a monument plans in coming years.
A person who's devoted his whole life to serving his community.
Your energy and generosity have been an inspiration, whether it's helping a staff member move or providing labor and materials for renovations, or all of the other things you do for your community. You always step up to the plate.
I feel absolutely blessed to have shared some of these experiences with you. There are few in a lifetime that model the way like you do. It is an honor, Michael, to contribute to a video for you. And as you leave the Community Foundation, there is no doubt in my mind that you will raise the mantle for another organization or initiative that helps make our community stronger.
Thank you, Mike, for all your years of service, and hopefully you can enjoy a little more time off. On behalf of myself and City Council, all the best in the future.
Congratulations on this honor, Mike. You deserve it.
Michael, you're by far the best boss I have ever had, and I suspect that you'll have a bazillion new ventures in volunteering waiting for you. If you need any help, I'm in. In the meantime, I'll see you for suds.
We will miss you. You have been such a wonderful addition to our board, and you will be missed. Thank you so much.
For all that you do, thanks, Mike.
Thank you again from CFSEA and from myself. Enjoy your time.
I wish Michael and Wanda all the best.
Thank you for your involvement with the Community Foundation and with all your other things that you do in the community. You're just a super person as far as keeping the community in your forefront and helping the community in whatever way you can. And that's been in the past and it will be in the future, I'm sure.
Well, as you can see, Mike, we truly adore you, even though if we lose touch here and there. You've impacted the Community Foundation in such a way that it's so hard to verbalize, but we're so honored to be here to send this message to you today. Thank you for being our friend. Thank you for being a leader. And thank you for the infinite invites to Friday family gatherings.
You are truly the most generous person I have met. And I know you will no longer be the chair, but it won't be goodbye because I know that you're going to probably be on every committee that we have. Michael, thank you so much.
The foundation is stronger because of you, and it's been a pleasure to get to know you and to work with you. I hope life has great things in store for you.
We know we're going to see you again soon. It's not like you're leaving the community, and your heart is here, and it beats so strongly. So this is not goodbye. It is a sincere thank you and a tribute to a person like you with the values that we share.
Thank you so very much for all your hard work and dedication over the past 7 years. It's truly been a pleasure serving with you. I look forward to working with you on many other matters for the Community Foundation.
Michael, thank you for sharing your leadership, your experience, your knowledge, and your community passion with us over the years. I look forward to working with you on a few of the CFSCA committees in the near future. Have a great summer.